G'day, folks. AOS Coach here, and we have a cracking discussion lined up. I know we're going to have a cracking discussion. A little bit different. We're not talking about battle tomes. We're not talking about faction indexes. But as I was scrolling through Instagram, there's someone that kind of caught my eye, someone that I've been following for a while, and something happened at the Palm Springs Open that I really wanted to get under the hood. So in today's discussion, I'm going to be talking to Viral, better known as Let's Get Warhammered. You'll find her on Instagram, occasionally on Twitch and on TikTok as well. And you had a cracking story that I really want to uncover because you had just attended your first grand tournament. So the Palm Springs Open out in California. You had done incredibly well, if I remember correctly, 26, 28 out of around the 50-odd players. So very respectable first tournament. And you also won, was it Best Presented? Best Painted? You won something.
I won Best Theme, and I'm not 100% sure what that category is, but I'll take it.
Just take it. But for the folks who may not be familiar with you, and I will pop the links down below, so please go follow her. Viral, who are you? What's your story? How'd you get here? Like, tell the internet.
Well, sorry. I've been playing Warhammer since I was in high school. I went to San Diego Comic-Con with some friends and saw a Games Workshop booth and played a little demo game of 40K, and that's when I got my first box of Warhammer. I picked up a Necron Warriors box and painted those guys up, and then found like a little local scene, and I ended up working at that hobby shop so that I could actually afford to play that game. And and then, I just really liked the painting aspect. I liked playing the game, and here I am.
No, that's so cool. I'm always curious, like how people started their journey. Like, was it a friend who got you involved, or like San Diego Comic Con sounds a great way to get started. Although very interesting. Like I would have imagined, like, comics and cosplay and toys, and there's all these things that are at, like, obviously not Warhammer. So that's very, very cool. So you played in Necrons. You have played since 99. That kind of caught me off. Like when I was looking through your bio, I'm like 99. Like that kind of threw me off.
It was 3rd edition 40K.
Wow. So was that that was when I remember actually getting the Necron on the cover of White Dwarf. I don't know that we all got a free Necron. There's a couple of models that were free on White Dwarf that always caught me off. Like I always remember, it was a Necron warrior, and there was also a Mordheim like assassin, a newer the sword. I've still got it to this day. It's a little elf like in a cloak, and it's got a sword. So I was around that back then. That's I remember little scarabs, and there was a stupid little destroyer that was so heavy on its base that I don't know how it held up. Viral's like, what are you talking about?
No, I remember that. Yeah. I got the Necron Warrior box, and then I split with my friend the Space Marines and Dark Eldar. So I had a little Dark Eldar army, and then I really fleshed out the Necrons because I really liked. They got new plastics, and I mean I didn't know they were new because I just started playing, but I had a monolith, and it was great. I love that.
I must admit, I do love the Necron lore. People here like, why is this AOS guy talking about 40K? I will say, like, I love the C'tan lore, and like just like how this dormant civilization. I find the Necron lore very fascinating. But talk to me about AOS. So like you got into 19. Did you play fantasy battles at all? Like did you play fantasy as well? Or I guess how did you go from 40K to AOS? Was it a break? Was it like what was the moment?
Well, I wanted to play fantasy since the beginning, but my local scene was only 40K. So just because I love like the painting aspect and the game, I just continued on with that. When I went to college, I was able to like convince another friend to play. So we had like little mini fantasy battle games, and I started with wood elves because they got some new plastics, and I was really excited about that. And then after college, life happened or whatever, and then I ended up moving to LA, and I moved right next to a hobby shop here, or a game store. So right before the pandemic, I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited to paint again, and I picked up Daughters of Cain, like start collecting, because I was like, yeah, I want these like elf girls to be my army. And I played 1 or 2 games of second edition AOS, and then pandemic, and I was just like shut in painting an entire army of Daughters of Cain. So that's how it happened.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm always curious because I think most people have that little lull. And for me, the lull was actually during college, like when I went to university. You're kind of like, you're distracted by the opposite sex, you're but drinking and study and everything in between. And then I kind of came back, and like my friend who was working at Games Workshop was like, give me free models. And occasionally, like for my birthday, I'm like, he's just like a crack dealer trying to like get me back on the hook. But that's so cool. Like you got your Daughters of Cain, and I guess fast forward, by the way, we talked about the Palm Springs Open. You didn't take Daughters of Cain, did you?
No, I brought my new Soulblight guys that I picked up. I was really excited when I saw their new plastics, because that was an army that I really wanted to play in fantasy, because I loved... Sorry, I'm getting over a cold right now. I'm like dying, but
Sorry, it's like it's the middle of summer here, and it's like 100 degrees American. So like the idea of you having cold and like the winter is just so foreign to me. But you were saying you wanted to do vampire counts.
Yeah, I loved like the vampire lore. I loved those Blood Knight models. And then they got new plastic, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my next AOS army, because I have like 3,000 points of Daughters. And Daughters was like the army that I came back to the hobby and started painting. So I really like put a lot of effort into the Soulblight, and I decided I wanted to take them to the tournament because like I wanted to be featured in like the painting whatever showcase thing, and I thought my Soulblight had a good shot of getting there, so I brought those guys.
That's so cool. And it's awesome that you've obviously put so much hobby into them. And you're right. Like I think I see your Prince Vordry on Instagram, and you had Blood Knights, and I'm getting old, so like my memory recall. Remind me what else you had in your army list. I could bring it up in BCP.
So my list was Vordry, that new Vordry model. I had the Black Knights, or the Barrow Knights now, and then they're like Barrow Knight Hero. I had basically I bought that new like Soulblight FOMO box, so I had those guys. I had the new Barrow Guard reinforced unit. I had 2 units of dogs, regular skeletons, regular zombies, and a vampire lord on foot, and a white king on foot.
That little vampire is so good. I actually played it literally last weekend, just little teleporting around. I'm like, I hate you. This summoning, like getting pluses to cast. He's such or she, like, depending on what you're like, just a jerk model. Like, you are such a jerk. Actually, my little vampire on foot is the old, I got a little female vampire, like the old Elizabethan style. I don't think it was, maybe it's Isabella von. Yeah, maybe no. I think it's like the old Isabella von Carstein model, maybe on foot. I think it's like mine. Yeah, like the real like old school Elizabethan style cloak. That's cool. That's really cool. And I guess like the first burning question I've got for you, and not that this is like an interrogation, but you started in 99. How did it take you like almost 30 years to play at an event? Because this is your first tournament. Is this your first like even did you play any like single day events, or is this just like your first 2-dayer?
I went to one single day at my local game shop, which I'm literally a mile from, and I played with. There were 3 other people besides me there, so I just played 2 games. There was a third round. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do the third round.
I'll say you can buy. I'll take it. Like you guys please me.
Yeah. And then I also joined like a SoCal like West Side League where we did 5 games over like 3 or 4 months. Which was cool. I met some cool people. But I don't know, like I don't think I'm like a super competitive player. Like I obviously didn't bring like a medalist with me. I enjoy the game and I enjoy the hobby. But why I went to Palm Springs is like where I grew up. So it was just like a little drive. I got to see my mom, hang out with her. I know the area. And I was
Did she
excited.
come? Did she drop into the event?
She didn't, but my dad randomly showed up, which was super cool. He came at the end. He watched like the end of my last match and then stayed for the awards. So he got to see me like get the little painting trophy. It was like actually a special moment for me. So
That's
very
cool. I had no idea, by the way. Like that wasn't a loaded question. Like we had that's cool. That's cool as hell. Like I've had like when I run tournaments and my wife will come and she'll wait for me towards the end. And I know in her mind she's like, "What on earth are you doing?" And like just watching things. Like she appreciates it, but she's like, "What the hell is going on here?" But that would have been cool for your dad to see you actually win a trophy as well. But like, why now? Like, why has it taken? And then again, I'm not interrogating you, but like, why now? Like, what's happened? Was it the fact that it was just like a convenient event? Was there something about the Age of Sigmar scene, or something that happened in your life, or just timing? Like, why make the jump?
It just really like the stars aligned for me to go there. And I was like, I just have to do it. And I mentioned it to my mom. I was like, hey, there's a tournament here. I might go. And she's like, you should do that. So I was like, okay. And like I said, I really wanted to like show off my painted army and like get some kind of recognition for that. And I felt like my Instagram had really been growing. So I was like, I should go to this event as like I don't know, a community member, for Age of Sigmar. And I'm really glad I did because I met really awesome people. Like the community blew my expectations out of the water, and I was really, really overall like amazing experience.
That is really curious because it's been such a long time since I was a new person to a tournament scene, and I have no idea what it's like. Rewind for a second for me. You've signed up, you've bought your ticket. Did you go with anybody? Did you know anybody before going to the event, or was this solo?
I really wanted my friend, like the person I play the most locally, to come with me. But he was dragging his feet and it's like, I don't know, I'll go to the next one. So I went alone and showed up. And I've been to the convention center before, so I kind of like knew what was going on. And it was really cool because I've seen like posts online of people going, they take photos with the big Space Marine. I was like, I gotta get my Space Marine photo.
I saw that. I did say that. I did see that photo. But okay, so hold on. You have been in the hobby for almost 30 years. You've been primarily a painter. We all took the break in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You started paying your daughters a cane. We all got kind of caught up in the COVID lockdowns, varying degrees. you've been to a cup, or you've been to a single dayer where you did 2 out of the 3 games.
Yeah.
You had no friend to go with you. Who, by the way, what's their name? Let's shame them right now. Look at the camera and say, like, you. What's your
That
message to the
is
person?
Rudy. His handle is at Paintbringer. He's featured in most of my posts when I'm playing at home. So
Rudy
yeah, you're
leaves you high.
coming next time. Yeah.
Rudy leaves you high and dry. You drive to Palm Springs by yourself. Never played a 2-day event. Barely got through a 1-day event. New to the Age of Sigmar hobby to a degree. What were you expecting, like, before you stepped into the door, right? Because I want to, like, I guess, like, what was your expectation, and then what was the reality? So, what were you expecting? Were you expecting, like, this sweaty group of, like, ultra chads, like, like just wanting to crush everyone immediately? Like, what was your feel?
Yeah. Yes, I was expecting a bunch of sweaty tryhards with meta net lists. They were just gonna like destroy me in turn 2 and just like table me. But I was like, that's fine. I just want to have this experience and play the best game I know how, and like bring a beautiful army with me, and have a good time. And that was, I mean, I did get fairly destroyed in a lot of those games, but it was closer than I was anticipating. Like, I played well. I do play quite a bit. I play like at least once a week, so I know my rules, and the battle plans and things like that. But everyone was just really nice and welcoming, and I wasn't the only one who showed up to their first tournament at Palm Springs, which was cool. So
Did the fact that it was a Games Workshop event help at all? Like, I don't know, like, does that make it feel better? And I know you have since signed up to another 2-day tournament, but the fact that it was being hosted by Games Workshop, did that help at all?
I think so, because it was like advertised where I would look. Like, I check Warhammer community pretty regularly, and I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's coming up. Okay. So I was like primed and ready, because I don't really have like my eye on like competitive play very much. I'll look at sites like Goonhammer. I'll look at that and I'm really like, what kind of lists are like winning and like what's going on? But I'm never like, doing game analysis and like things like that. So I guess I'm pretty casual, but I'm casual in a way where I still want to play well, play fun games.
That's great. No, it's great. And I ask you that more because I imagine someone who is, and I'm sure there's plenty of people listening to this who are painters, who are casual, who might only play with a small group of friends. And there might come a time where they want to take that next step and they want to meet more of the Age of Sigmar community. Maybe they're sick of playing the same armies, and they want to get a little bit of a new experience, or maybe they're traveling for work and they want to play a game. And one of the challenges, I imagine, especially, not necessarily just in America, but overall, is like, how do you find those communities? Like, how do you find those game stores running events? How do you find those major events? And, I imagine people like you are not looking at like Best Coast pairings, searching for the upcoming schedule every couple of weeks. And, you get these moments of time like, Rudy, I'm looking at you, like, it's 12 months. Like, it's literally like, if Palm Springs happens again, and I don't know, but it's 12 months till the next Palm Springs. So you might miss that moment in time where there might only be 1 or 2 major events in your local community before you have to start traveling. So, keeping your eye on the pulse and making sure you've got those opportunities. That's why I asked the question, because you're right. Really lucky for you to be on Warcom, but if I'm in, I don't know, Denver or somewhere else, I might not have that opportunity. So like, that was my question more really.
Yeah. I joined the like a SoCal Discord. So now like I check that to see when these events are gonna happen. I do have plans to go to the Las Vegas Open. I'm really excited about that. And Rudy's coming with me this time, so it's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna bring a different army, and I have ideas to make a display board. Like I have like hobby related goals for these different tournaments. You know?
You've mentioned that a few times. You've mentioned like your goal to Palm Springs was more around like showcasing your army. You've mentioned that as well. Has that helped you, like really focusing on yourself? Like, yes, I practice and I play. I'm not the most competitive person, but I want to showcase my army. I want to meet new people, meet the community, grow my Insta. Has that helped kind of ground you on like set your expectations and make sure that you are still having fun even if you are losing? And by the way, you still won some games. So it's not like you are 0 and let's be clear here. You're not 0 and 5 getting crushed and just showing off your lovely army and maybe getting best sport. You're winning. You're winning games.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had a good time. I like playing Warhammer, win or lose. You know, I just like the game of Sigmar a lot. I think it's fun. I think like the narrative aspect of the games are really fun. The list that I brought is actually grew out of a Path to Glory campaign that I did locally with friends. So there's like I have like a little backstory for the army, and obviously I grew it beyond the Path to Glory limits, but that's why I first painted it. So now I'm kind of like, I just started a new Path to Glory campaign with Rudy, someone I met at Palm Springs Open, and then another one of our friends. So we're going to do another little Path to Glory. And then with the new Blighted Wilds book, which I'm also really excited about. Working on those. It's still Soul Blight, but it's like a different flavor. So I think I'm hoping to paint that up by the time we do Old Town, and then I'll have like another little inspirational army.
I was going to have to shout out Old Town at some time because the Palm Springs TO would not get away if we just talked about LVO and not Old Town, that I will be attending as well. So we'll get to meet in person in August, which is going to be very, very cool. But I love hearing that again, like you've started with this painting army, you've had Path to Glory, it's then expanded, it's obviously taking you to an event. And one thing that I keep saying to so many people is like, and I love hearing this story from you, is that you go to an event and you might not know many people. Maybe you've got a Rudy. Maybe you don't have a Rudy because they don't come with you. But like you might know a couple of people, but then through the course of the event, you get to meet new people, and then you find people who are local to you. Then they start adding you onto Facebook, or to your point, adding you to a Discord. And then the next event, you either see those same people, meet their friends, and it just kind of like snowballs a little bit. So you start to get to know more and more of the community. And I find that you feel much more connected to the community more than just like that little group that you've got. Is that a fair statement as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's very insulated where we are. I mean, we're in LA, but just like locally, there aren't that many Sigmar players. I think for whatever reason, a lot of the hype that people were playing, you know, they kind of felt tired at the end of third, and then fourth just didn't really speak to them because all the indexes we got kind of was a letdown. But I think some of those people are coming back, especially with the new Nurgle release. People are hyped about that. But meeting new people and seeing like their cool armies that I've never played was a blast. And I really want to stay in touch with a lot of the people I met and hope to see them at those next events. So looking forward to it for sure.
No, that's cool. That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, it's interesting because it's interesting time. Like, because like from what I'm seeing, like Age of Sigmar is still doing well, but like people are so time poor now that they're either working more or they have more opportunities, right? There are other game systems that are doing very well, and like we've only got so much time to offer. Video games are doing very well, and then obviously, you add the index hammer, a bit of like half my armies don't have a battle tome. Like Daughters of Cain don't have a battle tome, Sons don't have a battle tome. Like so many of my armies don't have a battle tome, and it is hard to be enthusiastic about those factions and we've probably seen a lot of change. So I can't wait for Daughters of Cain to get their battle tome. I can't wait to see what new models they get. I can't wait for Sons. I'm lucky with my Gits, but my Gits kind of got nerfed a few times lately. So I'm like, I'm not so enthusiastic with you. And Stormcast, like, cities, I'm just waiting for the band-aid to be ripped off. Like, what are you doing with dwarves and elves? So it's a very weird time. Some people who are like loving life, you're right, noble. OBR right now, people are looking at those chariots going, I can't wait for was there a preview at the preview?
Yeah.
Did you get to see the preview live, or what did they do? Did you get at all?
I was playing a game when it was happening, so I didn't. If they did, I missed it, but I definitely checked it out on my phone after. Yeah, those models look very cool.
It's a shame, actually. The reason I asked you that was because at World Championships, and often they actually do those either during a lunch break or after one of the days. So actually everyone kind of comes into one room and then watches the preview on like a big screen. So like at World Championships, they had it on a big screen. So like when they previewed Nurgle, there was like 400, 500 people in the room. And obviously, you're talking to your mates at the same time and like making commentary and, often there's some speakers as well that might talk about a little bit about the release and then before they go to the next. But doesn't sound like they did it at Palm Springs because it was done. I think Eddie and Adam were in the UK, so that probably makes sense. Tangent. That was a weird tangent. Let's go back to the tournament. How'd you prep and did it work? Other than like your two games out of 3, like is Rudy putting you through the reps and training you up?
So it's funny because Rudy plays Slaves of Darkness, Stormcast, and Cruel Boys, and I never fought those armies at the tournament. Never fought them.
What did you fight? So we know you could be played Soul Blight. What? That's the worst. But at the same time, it's very cool because like you're now playing armies you don't play into, but you've got no training because
it was cool. It was very like, just tell me about your army when it comes up, because like a lot of people want to like tell you everything right away. I'm like, I cannot remember that. Just stop. But I played, my first game was Lizard Men. Sorry, what are they called?
Seraphon.
Seraphon.
Yep.
Sorry.
I got you. I
played Seraphon. Beautifully painted army. I forget his name. Sorry, I don't know my.
It's all right.
Pairings.
I'm at the same time. I'm pulling up BCP literally as we speak. I'm gonna see if I can find it while we're talking. You keep going.
Played his army, beautifully painted. Really looked nice across the table from me. It was like kind of close, but his army definitely outmatched mine. I met some Croxagores, and they're very tough and strong. And I my strategy was like throw Vordry at stuff and see what happens. And if that didn't go well, the game was downhill from there. But that was.
Yeah. He's tough. I actually played into Vordry last weekend, so I had because I was at a 5-game GT as well. And yeah, Vordry, Luca Vi, what was there? Vampire Lord on foot, Terrorgeist without a mount, and then was there Blood Knights and Barrow Guard. They're so tough.
Yeah.
So tough. And Vordry with his little pile-in shenanigans. Little jerk that he is. Sorry, keep going. So you played in the Seraphon game 1. Do you remember what other games you played? I'm still scrolling, just trying to.
Yeah, I played Seraphon. Then I think I fought an OBR list, which was brutal. It was like Nagash, guys with 4 arms, forget their names, 4 arms and 4 swords, and they're like, they can do this, that, and this turn they're gonna turn off your wards, and next turn they're gonna like you're -1 to hit, and blah blah blah. I just got destroyed. Like that's
It's a bit rude. Oh, that's right. You were 8 games.
yes, I played 8.
Hey.
So before this tournament, the most games I've ever played in a day is 2 at that 1-day tournament.
You play 8 games in 3 days. Like you have gone from like 0. That's right. I forgot the Games Workshop events are 8 games. Like you've gone from 2 games out of a 3-game event to just like here's 8 games. You played Michael Birch, by the way. I got you back now. So that was the OBR list. Do you remember the other ones, or do you want me to help you?
Yeah, I played OBR. Then I played a Sylvaneth list.
No,
which I was very
you played Slaves.
Oh, I played Slaves after that? Okay.
Yeah, that was Logan's Slaves. You won that one 65-45.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
There's your help. Didn't you say Rudy?
Oh, right. Yes.
There you go. There's let's give him some credit.
This was like a monster mash list. It was like Be'lakor, Archaon, some other guy. Because there's like 4 or 5 models on the table. And that's like, okay.
I'm bringing up the list now. I need to see this. This sounds like a good time. This like, who's the other model? Who would it be?
Centurion.
Yeah, I was going to say Centurion Marshall. Yeah, that was one of my guesses. Like he's trying to bring up your scores. Archaon, Be'lakor, Centurion Marshall, Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount, Chaos Knights, Eternus. You must have looked at that list going, what on earth? Like, given that you have so little experience, especially for the factions you ran into, how did you handle that? Like, is that something like, because you don't have a lot of knowledge from the reps to draw upon, right? So what did you do in this situation? Because I imagine there's a lot of people like you where it's like, I know my faction, I kind of know the players I play locally, but the breadth and the depth of these factions and army lists at a tournament can be overwhelming. It's like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I've never played this before.
My basic strategy was like, okay, dogs are going to screen and just like get in the way. So I always put dogs on the flanks. I put my Barrow Guard in reserve. I put a faction terrain somewhere good to like pop the Barrow Guard out of. And then plug up the center with like zombies and skeletons. And then Vordry is going to like pick a fight that he can win, hopefully. I was able to really cut that list down when the Barrow Guard popped out next to those knights and then nailed their 9-inch charge. And then I was able to teleport that Vampire Lord to like give them that ward that they need. So a little Alpha Strike Barrow Guard into those knights, took those out, and then I also have those Barrow Knights that are just really annoying to kill because they come back once per every time. Yeah.
Oh yes. Then you've got your invocations and all these things that keep coming back. You're like,
yeah.
I think in my game against Matt Tyrrell, I had a unit of 10. I think I whittled it down to about 2 or 3. And then like I blinked and they're back to 9. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, I think I was able to kill Be'lakor, and then it was like smooth sailing from there because it's like stand on circles, and he wanted to keep his heroes together for whatever buffs, but I was so ahead on points by the time that there was no coming back for him.
I got to ask you this question. The next game.
Yeah.
How's it feel to have your first mirror match? Yes. But it is different. It is a different list. I'm looking at it. You got Manfred, you got some Skellies, you've got like the Soggy, Sekar, Mortis Engine, Kato. I went, oh, like, okay, the first mirror, like, obviously getting to play Soulblight on versus Soulblight, and then also, does this person know your list better than you do? Like, how do you counter this? Like, what was your first like tournament mirror like?
Um, it was fun. My opponent was like really cool. Like had some good banner and some laughs during the game. Um, I think knowing the army that I was up against really helped. I have no idea what Manfred does though, so I was like, wait, what? What is he doing?
Right, you won big. You won 70-30. Like, save some winning for the rest of us.
Well, I had speed in that match and he really didn't. So I played KG with my heavy hitters and then put him in dog jail with all those roadblocks. And then I just went for his faction train that he put on my side of the board, just like kill that. So I just had more points, and then but it's like I just left Vordry in the center, but he didn't have shooting, so I could just kind of like wait for him to come to me. And then yeah, it was kind of like a really kind of standoffy kind of match, like different than I usually play.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
That's so good. And then you played into Sylvaneth. You must have loved this next list because, like, I'm reading the list. It's so narrative, like the Sylvaneth list, calling Johnny Saps as Belthanos, Sasha Greybush as Grey Witch. Surely your little narrative path to glory was Siggy in that one. You won that one as well, right? Yeah, you won. Almost max scored 75-54 against Matt. That's a big score.
Yes. That was a funny match. I was afraid the whole time because he's like, this guy's gonna hit blah, like explaining me the list, and I was like, how do I fight this? Like, he's got anti-monster, like he's healing, he's murdering. The grasshopper guy jumps behind you, and then you can't fight him, or some I don't know.
The grasshopper guy.
Is that's what he is?
Belthanos.
Yeah. Grasshopper.
I'm going to take that from now on. I'm taking that from now on. That's the grasshopper guy.
So, I got lucky because, I mean, again, it was just like dog roadblocks. Stand on circles. But Vordry really, I don't know what happened. I was like, I got all out attack or else he's dead. And I was able to destroy what's her name? Alariel with Vordry. And then things started to like collapse for him from there. And then like his girlfriend showed up and he was distracted. And then
a literal girlfriend, sorry, not Alariel.
His literal girlfriend showed up. And then he was like, oh, I was distracted. I was like, nah, I just beat you.
Boom, I beat you in front of your missus.
Yeah, basically.
And like, so funny. You should have done so. At this tournament that I know this is not about me. This is about you. One of the games I had, Jack. If you're watching this, hey Jack. Jack had his missus with him, and I just kept teasing him the whole time. Like, obviously, very fun banter, but like he was trying to give me solve. I was giving him solve in a very positive, fun way, a very Australian way. But I got to leverage the missus there as well, like psychological warfare. So. Mind you, like we all had a great time.
Yeah, it was funny. There was one point he's like explaining the rules of his guys to me, and it's just like I just can't internalize all that, and I'm just like locking eyes with the girlfriend who also has no idea what he's saying. We're sharing this moment, and he's like, blah blah blah, hidden on twos or whatever he's saying to me.
How do you find that, by the way? Because what's really interesting as an experienced player, right? Like, for someone who is newer, it's like, what do you want to know? Because on one hand, I don't want to like catch you out, be like not telling you the things you want to know about my army. But on the other hand, if I just TED talk you for a good 5 to 10 minutes about what my army does and what this thing here and what's the artifact and like all this stuff, it's just like all this information. You're like, let me just focus on my thing. So like, how did you find that just throughout the weekend?
Um, I mean, a lot of people really want to tell you about their army, and I really try to listen. And when I hear something, I'm like, wait a minute, say that again. Like for things that I actually care about, like for my army, I want to know like what can turn off the wards, because those are very important to me. I want to know who has like anti-monster, because Vordry needs to stay safe. And like I want to know about recursion. I want to know about like fight first and like whatever, like this guy fights and then can activate another unit. I want to know about that kind of stuff. Um, and then during the fight, I want to know like during the combat phase, I want to know about damage and rend ahead of time so I can like plan out my all out defenses or whatever. So
Yeah.
just kind of stuff that I feel is important for my army to like be aware of. But there's a lot of stuff that is like so over the top, and I'm like, I can't even remember that. Like, or like auras, like if I'm within this much, I'm gonna be like minus whatever to something, or stuff like that.
Yeah, no, understood. Because there's a balance of like, I want to inform you, but I don't want to overwhelm you. And there's like, and I don't want to get in a situation where like mid game, you've done something because you didn't know I had this, and then if you would have had your time again, you wouldn't have done this, and then the relationship might collapse a little bit. And like, it's not my intention. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you something. And how much do you remember 90 minutes from now? Like when we
Right.
actually get to the thick of the battle, like how much have you actually remembered? And it's like, what's just a head noise?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember your other opponents? This is not a
Yeah.
test, by the way. Well, who's next? So you've beaten Sylvaneth. Then
Beat
who?
Sylvaneth. Then I think I played 4 Magma Droths.
You did play Fire Slayers. You lost that one.
That was so brutal. I was like, what do I even do to this?
Yeah, I played it. I often play into them with my daughters, where I'm like, there's almost splash damage. I'm like, what am I gonna do with like it's like I'm gonna hit you, but I'm also gonna get hit back a lot, and without a lot of you don't have a lot of range. It's not like you can be doing damage in the charge phase and other phases. You got to rely on melee.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I were to play it again, I have some ideas of what I might do differently. Uh, the the battle plan was rough too for that one. Um, and like just the amount of damage that those guys could do, and they're all together, like they're all hanging out, and they all hit and wound and on twos, and you're dying and exploding. You hurt them, and they're hurting you, and it was just like it was probably closer than it should have been, to be honest. Like I felt like losing the whole time, but oh, and Vordry died very quickly, which
Oh,
that that's kind of like the litmus test for if the game is going to go well. Because if I could like trade and kill one of them with him, that would be fine. But that just did not happen. You know?
hey, speaking of Vordry, most people have like a centerpiece model or some type of really important model. How do you handle that? Like, how do you handle, I guess, like losing one of those critical pieces and keeping yourself, I guess, positive or at least useful for the course of the game? Because that I can imagine for, I don't want to call you a newer player, but you're not. Like, it's just like someone who's played a lot of games gets those reps. They're like, right, okay, when this thing happens, this is what I need to do differently. But you've lost your big centerpiece, 1/4 of your army. How do you stay positive and useful and not just like want to give up?
Um, it's rough for sure. I mean, I definitely want to see the game through because even if I am going to lose, I want to score as many points to lose like as not much as possible. Um, so I do like I want to slow them down in their scoring, or like I always want to know what their battle tactics are so I can try to stop those from happening while trying to do mine, you know. And also like if I have like intentionally kill skeletons so that I can bring them back somewhere more useful is something I was doing to like get objectives that were just too far for them to walk to. So, things like that. I don't think I was ever like discouraged during a game. I mean, I had fun all weekend. I think it was like, at first I was like, oh man, I gotta play 8 games of Warhammer. Like, that's a lot. But then I was like, oh man, I want to play again. Like, Sunday night,
That is such a huge change. Like to go from, again, like, only playing locally, playing 2 games at an RTT, and then playing 8 games, like literally like 4 times in the amount of games from like a 1-dayer to a 3-dayer. Your last 2 games, by the way, if you remember, do you remember the last 2?
Yeah, I played another. I played Daughters of Cain.
You played Daughters, and then you bookend with Seraphon again.
Yes. Almost an identical Seraphon list that destroyed me just as good. Yeah.
Did you get to apply? One of the things I love about tournaments is you get instant feedback, right? Like when you play one game with a friend, you do something wrong or you do something right. You're like, I want to repeat that again or avoid that. But like it could be another week or 2 until you play your next game. But at a tournament, like you get that immediate feedback that you can apply in your next game and the course of the games. Did that first Seraphon loss teach you anything that helped you in the last one, or did it just the same outcome?
It taught me that the Kroxigor would like destroy anything they touch. And that also happened in my second game.
Did you play differently though? I think that's what
I attempted to, but I tried to play a little more conservatively. He had 2 units of the reinforced Kroxigor instead of just 1. And I tried to take one out, but like I could not do that. I just could not get over there. I think they're a 3-up save or something. And then they're like -1 to hit in his territory and all this other crazy stuff. It's just like a really tough thing to go up against. And then Vorkdry just whiffed. Vorkdry went into them and whiffed. And then, like literally no wounds. Like,
oh no.
Total whiff.
Vordry is getting put into the display case, and now it's time for Neferata or Manfred. I think that's woeful. But you had a respectable 3 wins out of the 8, which put you. Did I say that you were 20? What was your placing? Where were you?
I was 29 or 28.
Yeah, 29. You were 29. So, about the middle of the pack, which is still a great outcome for a first tournament. What was your goal? Like, did you have a goal in mind? I know you had a bit of a painting goal and, something that you wanted to do, but like from a gameplay perspective, what was that goal?
For like my games, I wanted to have fun. I did that. And I wanted to win at least 1 game. So I managed that. So pretty cool.
You 3x that.
Yeah. So those were like my main goals. But I think I had more like social goals. I wanted to meet other players, that, build that local community for me, like reach out to other people. I wanted to see amazingly painted armies, like lots of hobby type goals for me, both for my own stuff and just to, like see what other people are doing and things like that. So
how did you do that? Like, how did you, because, and I say this because, many of the folks probably listening to this are probably very introverted by nature, not very out there, may feel intimidated to meet new people. Any advice, like, again, going by yourself, meeting people in the community, like, did you just like go up to say hello to people? Did you find groups? Was it all based on the people you met at tables? Like, tell me more about how you did it and what we could learn from that.
I think that like I engaged with my opponent, before or during like the lulls of the game when appropriate. I don't want to like distract them or whatever, but like who'd you come here with? Like who are your buddies or whatever. And then like it breaks. Like I think a good like icebreaker is to just compliment somebody's army or models because people like to hear that, and then you can start up a conversation that way, which is pretty cool. And people like to hear that, because they put their time and effort into painting, and being like recognized for that is important.
No, that's awesome because it's interesting because we all have this one common language of Warhammer. And regardless of like, where you stand and what you do for work or your interests, like we all have this Warhammer. So you're right. Like whether it's complimenting or even something simple as like, how's your game? Or, it's something simple like, I don't know if you do this, maybe it's a boy thing or maybe an Australian thing. Like as I'm walking through the tournament, we'll do like thumbs up, thumbs down. So even before I ask somebody like, how's their game? Like when we lock eyes, they're like thumbs up, thumbs down. Because at least then I know, like, am I saying commiserations or like, if I've just won really big, but they've just got smashed, I can temper my emotion a little bit. And then obviously like, if they give me the thumbs down, I'm like, oh, what happened? Obviously being absolutely genuine, but like, that's just something that we do in Australia, at least, like thumbs up, thumbs down, and then the conversation continues.
I want to try that for sure. That's good.
So it's just like, especially when you're walking the halls, like you don't have time to talk. You got 15 minutes between the round and you want to go to the bathroom, get yourself a drink. You don't have time to talk, but you want to know how the person's going. It's just like up, down, thumb down. I'm sure people listening to a podcast can imagine visually a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yes.
I
they got it.
You reckon we usually described my sausage hand?
Yes.
So was you mentioned hobby a lot. You've mentioned hobby a lot. Was like that best army presented, like was that one of your goals, or was that a genuine surprise to you? Like how did you feel your army stacking up when you were going in for that showcase?
When I went in and I started just looking at tables and stuff, I was like, okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get into the showcase because basically like the judges come around and like give you a secret painting score, and then if they give you max points for that, you're invited to this showcase at the end of day 2, and then you lay out your guys on a table. I didn't have a display board or anything because I didn't have time to do that or have ever done that before. So that's a new goal for next time. But I definitely saw some beautiful armies, and I'm like, I hope they give a first through third place because I don't know if my army is going to be all that. But there was some amazing looking stuff. It was very cool. It was very cool. And then I hung back to like talk to the painting judges because somebody was like, you can talk to the judges if you want afterwards. And then I did, which was fun. Their advice they gave to me was, I mean, it was valid, but I was hoping for a little more than what they gave me.
It's always hard giving feedback, right? Like I've got some paint judges who come to my events as well, and it's hard, right? Because like you want to like give proper feedback at the same time. Like it's interesting, right? And maybe you could ask more pointed questions, like just be blunt, just tell me.
Yeah.
But speaking of judges, so we many of these questions, by the way, have been either submitted by my Discord, your Instagram, or a little bit of a mix. But one loaded question I am going to ask from the head judge, the TO, he says, don't you worry that attending your first event with such an amazing TO crew will spoil all future events?
I hope it doesn't. I have nothing yet to compare it to. So stay tuned for when the next time after my LVO appearance, I'll let you know.
Well, you'll have old towns before LVO.
So right.
You'll see if you can walk the walk and talk the talk at home.
Okay. Yeah. That's funny.
Were you nervous at all about this event? Like, did you have any nerves whatsoever?
I was a little bit because I've gone into my local hobby shop, my game shop, when they're doing like 40K RTTs, and those people, in quotes, those people are very different. They're those competitive 40K players are very serious, no nonsense. And like I'll see my friend playing and I'm like trying to like be like, hey, what's up? But like it's just not, he will not engage, because the 40K scene is like, I was expecting that to be Age of Sigmar, because I've never seen like an Age of Sigmar tournament occur anywhere near me. And like I thought it was going to be very no nonsense 40K serious beard situation, but that was not the case, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. So once I met my first opponent, he was super chill. You know, we had a little conversation when we were like discussing our lists and the battle plan and stuff. So kind of like instantly put at ease after that interaction.
As a bearded person, I take offense to that reference to bearded people. Oh, we're not all bad. We're not all bad.
Okay.
As bearded people. But what else surprised you? Like, okay, so, and this is no shade to 40K. Like, there's a different culture, and certainly, there are certain things that are like people are aspiring, and maybe they take things more competitively. But what else did you notice, or even what surprised you from the event?
What surprised me? Well, first there was my Soulblight faction terrain was regular terrain on every table, and I was so confused during every match because there's just like 5 or 6 different tombs around. And I'm like, I really thought I painted it better than that. And then it's not mine. It's the table. So that surprised me. But what also surprised me about it was like the organizers and like the people working there were very nice and just like approachable, and it was just a really good experience, you know. And I did run into someone I know playing 40K at my local store, so I had a little chat with him. I play a D&D game. My DM was playing Kill Team randomly, and I'm like, whoa, it's this guy. So we hung out, had a little convo about his Kill Team guys. I was surprised there was a bar in the convention hall. I was not expecting that. I guess I should have, but I was not. That was surprising.
AOS players do enjoy a sneaky beverage. I may have been many Australian tournaments. I may have had like a martini or some type of cocktail, because why not? In fact, there's a couple of tournaments in Australia that we even do like themed cocktails. So we'll actually have something fun. Why not? Why not have a sneaky drink or two?
It's you know, it's not a job, so have fun. Because I just need to say that the Age of Sigmar players were having way more fun than those 40K players. Like, easily, like you could just see it.
Yeah, you'll see this at LVO because, again, it's not AOS versus 40K, but like AOS does have like I describe it like casually competitive. Like, yes, we're competitive, right? Like the people are competitive. They're there to win. They want to win more than they lose. They want to take out the event. But for a lot of people, like you'll see that people just enjoy playing with their hobby. They just want to play. They want to win. They won't win at a negative experience to their opponent. There's often some type of shared social contract. Yes, things go against us. Yes, people lose. Yes, sometimes like cheating happens. Like I'm not sugarcoating the scene, but you're right. Like you probably don't have that tension that you probably see, like the silence. You don't see like people are just like having fun. I think one of the many reasons why I really like the AOS community, and it's so good to hear, like, from your experience that you're meeting like similar like-minded folk.
Yeah. And I just want to say I've been like maybe talking some trash about 40K, but I really do like that game too.
It's all right. We can talk trash.
The-
I don't work for Games Workshop.
yeah.
This is not. I don't do any 40K content. You know that you are space AOS. You aspire to get cool models like we do. You got tactical rocks. We got the cool models. We got the big monsters. We are the lucky ones. So know your place, 40K. If you like both, it's cool. I'm not throwing shade at you, but come home. Come to AOS.
Definitely. I'm starting a Dark Elder, or I guess they're Drukhari now. Starting a Drukhari army. So maybe probably won't play a tournament for it.
No, you're here. Stay.
Okay.
You're staying. You can play casually, but you don't cross over.
Definitely casually.
But mind you, like, I will never get used to this name change. Like, because back in the day, so I started in 2nd edition 40K, because like you, majority of my games club were 40K players. There was a handful of us fantasy battles players, but clearly it was like 2-1, 3-1, all 40K, and majority of my opponents were like Space Marine Terminators. Like, I'm so sick of playing like 2-up Terminators at the time. While I started with Imperial Guard, I'll never get used to calling them, what are they, Astra Militarum? Yeah. I'll never get used to that. Then I've got Sisters of Battle. I love my Sisters of Battle. I'm not calling them Soriatis or whatever. Like, Drukhari and like Eldari. No, they're Eldar. They're Dark Eldar. They're I don't know. There's my little, like.
I had an all-metal Sisters of Battle army. It was the heaviest thing. I had those like old like suitcases, and I had 2 of them, and I'm just like lugging these like lead boxes.
I've still got it. I've still got it. Literally behind my screen. I've still got mine. I think the only plastic in there is like the new Saint Celestine. But otherwise, I love those old, like, Uriah Jacobson, that homeless guy looking preacher with his like shotgun, and like, he's so homeless looking. I love him. I love that guy. I've still got my old what's his name? Oh my god, Commissar Yarrick, because again, Imperial Guard was my first army. Crab Claw Commissar Yarrick with his big claw like this.
Amazing.
Even like Space Wolves, I used to have. I think I sold them not long ago. I don't know, the old like 3 characters. There's some cool stuff in there, but we got cool stuff. Anyway, you've distracted me with 40K.
Sorry,
I should ban you from this chat. What else do I want to ask you? There's a couple of other things. I'm gonna quickly deviate and bring us back on track with one of your people's very interesting questions. Is first off, what did you eat? Like, that's a legitimate question from our fans. You want to hear it? What did you eat?
What did I eat? Well, okay, I ate at the convention center because I didn't have time to go anywhere else. Because another thing is, this is my first tournament. I play slow, Also, I got like 90 models on the table compared to a lot of these very small lists. So I was playing slow, and I was always over time. The judges were always like looking at me. I'm like, sorry about it. But so I didn't have a lot of time to eat. The food available, Palm Springs Convention Center, and every convention center, I'm sure, was not great. So I had they called it a chicken teriyaki bowl, but I'm pretty sure it was barbecue sauce. It was
teriyaki, barbecue, it's all brown.
The other option was a turkey croissant sandwich with a Kraft American single in the middle. That's what I ate.
All right. I'm sorry for that. I can assure you most conventions are a little better. I did hear some negative feedback about the food. I can assure you others are better than that.
Okay.
LVO is actually interesting. Like, because I've been to LVO a few times, they'll have a little catering area, and you can grab various things. They'll have some hot things. They'll have some cold things. What I'll traditionally do is buy like a garden salad bowl, and then they'll have like chicken tenders. So I usually try to eat pretty healthy at events. So like at least if I go out drinking and eating like takeaway at night, I haven't got such a bigger blowout. But it's usually pretty good, but they'll have hot dogs and burgers and various things. So LVO is pretty good. I think most conference experience, like Adepticon, for example, very similar. A lot of like little vendors and food halls and stuff. But I did hear some negatives about the Palm Springs food. So just set the expectation. You probably have better experience in other ones.
Right. And Palm Springs like closes down. It's like a retirement situation. By like 8:30, 9 o'clock, like it's fast food or nothing. So it's kind of rough. But I went home. My mom made me lasagna. So that was good.
That's sick. That is what could you ask for that mom gets to feed you? Speaking of food as well, I did have another question, I think from your Instagram, and they had said, can you eat your opponent's models, slain models?
You can ask. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem, but I don't think you would actually be able to do that physically or with permission.
I've seen people eat dice and they paid for it later. You know who you are. Pretty sure it was Jacob Berry. You know who you are. Somebody I know definitely has eaten dice to be funny, or maybe not. I did back in the day with my Imperial Guard. I got sick of fighting Terminators where I'm like, I'm just going to buy little like lolly men, like Chico men, and I'm just going to put them on bases and just eat them because like I got sick of painting Imperial Guard that would just die at a stiff breeze.
Yes.
But you can't eat models. I don't recommend it. Speaking of models, though, another question that kind of came up was like, how do you transport your excellent miniatures without breaking them? That's a really good point because one, your models are beautiful. Again, go check out Instagram. You can see a whole bunch of the models, but you got a lot of little fragile pieces, you know, your little spindly bits here and stuff that breaks off. Like, how do you transport or any advice for those who are going to their first event?
Well, I didn't have to get on a plane, which was nice. So if I had to do that, like I'm open to suggestions. I don't know what would happen. So I drove. I used the Magna racks, magnetized my guys, put them in that case. I bought, my magnets are pretty strong, so they weren't like rattling around. But I'm definitely very careful with them. It was Vordry was kind of precarious the whole time because he does not fit in the bag. So he's just on a metal plate in the passenger seat. Like, he doesn't even have a seatbelt on. He's just like living his life there. So, but he made it. You know, there were no casualties that whole weekend.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. I've seen like 40K Titans like sitting in like baby seats and seat belts, but Vordry, I plus one on that magnet stuff, right? Because even going between tables, right, having something on magnets is going to be so much better than packing your stuff into foam, unpacking it. It gets tiresome pretty quickly, and
Definitely.
it's not adaptable, especially as your army changes. So I guess a couple of other questions. Again, I think I could talk to you forever. Like we could keep going until the cows come home. But where was my one question that came up from I think it was my Discord was like, did the AOS scene meet, exceed, or defy your expectations on what you've seen online?
Definitely exceeded my expectations, and defied them because I was, like I said, expecting like serious competition minded, no nonsense kind of people. But everyone was like legitimately so friendly and welcoming. And like, it felt like most of those people knew each other, which I'm pretty sure they did. But it wasn't like exclusionary in that sense. Like I felt like welcomed into that group and part of that community with them, and I just had such a great time.
Was it worth going to? And by the way, my question, this came from, I think, yours. I think this is actually your Instagram. Was like, was it worth going to the Chaos Hellscape, in brackets, California, for this?
Well, I live in that Chaos Hellscape.
Yeah, that doesn't reflect my thought of California, just for the record, because I'm going there in a couple of months' time. Don't lynch me at the airport. Sorry, back to you.
I'm not sure what that's in a reference to. It is hot here.
It's why.
There's really not that much chaos, considering. You know, I drive in LA every day, so I'm used to it, I guess.
Oh, your traffic is terrible. Like being stuck at the airport, then going through your highways. Like I hate it. Like that's the worst. If there was some fast way to get to the airport, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I'm 15 minutes from the airport.
Well, I'm coming to your house. We coming to your house, and then you can drive me to Old Town. I'm not dealing with that again.
I got a guest room.
It's such a bad airport. I just need a train. Like I just need a direct train to go from here to there. I'm so lucky.
No,
but I guess
they don't have public transportation here. That's crazy.
Oh, I've noticed. Chicago was different. Like when I've been to Chicago, for example, that's been pretty generous. But like from a LA perspective and getting around, like going to Santa Monica, and like it's been Ubers and cars. So, little different between our communities. But anyway, this is not about me and like anti-public transport. Would you encourage a new player to try? Like if somebody is listening to this and they're curious about attending their first event, or maybe they've played at their local game store and never actually taken it to a 2-day or a 3-day, in your case, like, would you encourage a newer player to try out a tournament?
Oh, definitely. I feel like really connected to the hobby and the community now in ways that I really wasn't before. It just feels really nice to be part of something, and we all just love modeling and gaming, and to be around people that all share like that hobby and that love with you is just really special. And it's not like you can get that in a lot of different places, so it's almost like I'll go to a yoga retreat once a year, and it's kind of like that kind of experience where people coming together for like this purpose that they all love. So it's like a really special thing to experience.
Does that yoga experience, by the way, help at all? Like, are you feeling like, are you able to find zen or find calmness? Because it can get noisy. Like it gets noisy and rowdy, and like, does that help at all?
My day job is I am a high school teacher, so I feel like I am impervious to noisy, rowdy. I'm like, this is just my everyday. This is my 9 to 5.
This is I'm home. I'm home.
Yeah, so like, I have to be a degree of like outgoing and like public speaking and interacting with people. What does scare me though is like parent teacher night, when I have to meet everyone's parents. That's the scary part.
Parents are so funny. They're so funny. I'm not even going to go in that tangent. That's so weird. Okay. Like, it's for the on behalf of Viral, just be good to your teachers when you go to parent teacher. Be kind. Remember that you are a part of their education. It's not all about like just you don't have a silver bullet. They can't. There's a bit of legwork here. Like, can't solve the world's problems. But what else was I going to say? A couple of other ones was if somebody was listening to this and they're exactly where you were, let's say 6 months from now, they're not quite as, maybe they haven't gone to that first single tournament, or maybe like they don't have that friend who bails on them and doesn't come in. But yeah, I'm taking one final shot. What would you say to them? Like, what would you say to somebody who's listening to this, who's thinking about it, or on the fence, or they got a friend encouraging them, like, hey, you should come, come to this event. Oh, no, I've never been before. I don't know anybody. What would you say to them?
I would say if you have the means to make it out there and you can like take the time off work or whatever you need to do to make it happen, I think you should give it a shot, because at the very least, you're going to play like a handful of games of the game that you really love. And, you'll meet cool people. Yeah, I had a great time. And if you're thinking about it, definitely do it. And if you haven't thought about it, you should.
What's a small step that you'd recommend someone who might be curious but is also hesitant?
If you have a local scene that will do like that competitive league, so you can like play with people you may have not played with before, or just like play with people with a more competitive mindset, or even just like playing games but being conscious of the time you take per turn, I think that could be some good first steps towards like prepping yourself for like multi-day tournament or like a day-long like marathon tournament.
What would you say to somebody who is waiting to be good enough?
Oh, you should not do that. There's always someone better than you. Like there's no, like, you're good enough now. Like, the rules, so you should just give it a shot. And I met someone who went to this tournament, who had never played a 2,000 point game before, who had never played a game besides Spearhead before, and just rolled up to this 8-round tournament. And they also had a blast and want to do it again. So there you go. Just like take the plunge.
It's good advice, because when you think about it, and I say this to people often, is that don't worry about other people, right? Just worry about yourself. Like, worry about yourself, your rules, and doing the best that you can. Like, don't worry about, max scoring. Don't worry about, like, if you are early on in your journey, I think, you had mentioned, my expectation was to present a beautiful army, meet some new people, hopefully win a game. Like, you really tampered your expectation. I think some people who go into these things, they have wild expectations, then they are not met and they're disappointed or frustrated, and that kind of plays out. So I love that. And I think to your point, even like go experience it and then build on it. Like, you don't go out to the gym and start lifting up 200 kilo like dumbbells immediately, or bench pressing. Like you build something over time. Like, it's a small incremental thing, and you get better and better. You learn, you take feedback. Some things they go your way, some things they don't go your way, but it's that learning process. And I always say to people, like, the only person you're in competition with is yourself. Like, because we're all on different journeys. Some people have been playing this for years. Sometimes people play this once a month. Some people play this 3 times a week. So we're all on different journeys. So, like, don't compare yourself. And maybe my last question before I hand over the mic for any closing thoughts is, like, what would you say to somebody who's starting their journey at tournaments, whether it is like the next Palm Springs, if they're in the Cal area, whether they're, overseas, like whatever it is, like, what would you say to somebody like going to start their journey?
I think if you're starting tournaments, then I think what I would do is focus on building those relationships and meeting new people, so that you have like that community to like build you up, give you that feedback you need, like do your practice games like without the tournament if you need them, because the encouragement that you'll get from other players will really like inspire you to keep going, I think.
That's great advice. And the other thing I'd probably say as well is like leverage the resources available to you. And I mean that whether it's like Discord communities like mine, whether it's like battle reports on YouTube, or, you mentioned Goonhammer and Wohammer and those types of blogs that like share insights. You might not get to play all the games, but like you can really draw upon the collective knowledge of the community to kind of help, fast track that knowledge. But my advice would be just to do it, right? Just get in there, have fun, meet new people, learn. And it's crazy. Like there are people that I've met 12 months, 24 months ago who were starting for the first time. And now they're podium. Now they're doing top tables because they've done the reps. They started somewhere and they've just gotten better and better and better. So don't get disheartened. Sometimes you don't know why you lost. Sometimes, and actually, here's another thing as well. Like ask for feedback. I don't know if you did this, but at the end of every game, like especially if you've lost, is there anything that I should have done differently? Like leverage the wisdom of your opponent. Like, oh, and they might not be right, but they go, oh, I don't know why you went for this objective where this was happening, or in deployment, try this instead.
Yeah, good advice for sure.
Final. Is there anything else you want to share? I mean, we've talked a lot. Actually, one more question that one person did ask. We probably should acknowledge this one. I can't remember who asked this. It might have been your Instagram. They had said, Soul Blight can be complex to pilot. What was the biggest aha moment that changed the way that you played later rounds?
Oh, okay. This is actually a big one. So I had forgotten that you can cast the manifestation out of the faction terrain. And that was like really important. Really, really important. Turns out that you can do that. And it almost, I feel like I could have won my daughter's matchup had those those that vampiric bats or whatever hit a little harder, because they were able to like squeeze in there and lay some mortals all up on what's her name, Crethusa, that priestess, and she was down to 2 wounds. And if I just rolled those other 6s, that I feel like that game would have been a little different.
She's very squishy. She's so squishy, that little Crethusa. If you get to her, like that's a good lesson. And now you can bloody fell bats.
Yeah, I like that. My other problem was I would like rush in there. I was like, we're going all in, and it was really not always the best choice. Especially when I was like, all I need is this 9-inch charge, and they're like, I will redeploy my unit. And I was like, oh, well, that is a good play.
Actually, you know what? Here's another question I didn't prepare you for. Not that actually we've had a completely random chat. There's like lots of questions that I had written we haven't even touched. So if you're listening to this and you submit a question, hopefully we acknowledged the majority of them or touched them somewhere. But as a new player, actually, I was having this discussion on Discord recently, and someone's like, "What do you know? You're not a new player." I'm like, "That's a good point. I'm not. I have what I think is a new player's opinion, but I'm going to ask you: priority roll and double turns. How do you feel about them? Like, is this something that you concerned of? Is this something you plan around? Like, tell me about like your feelings about, because the double turn and the priority roll is here to stay. Did you take them? Did you give them away? Like, tell me about your feelings.
I actually never had the option to take a double turn. Somehow over 8 games, I just never was able to do that. I found that my opponents were too afraid to take the double turn because of the scoring thing. Maybe it happened once, but not to a great effect.
Well,
Against
it's so
me.
impactful, right? Like if you're like, it doesn't sound it's so impactful. Please tell me more.
In my games that I play like casually, like if you take the double turn, you need to have a really good reason to do it. Like if you don't, your whatever will die. Or if you don't, like, like you're gonna be down so much that you can't come back. Do I like I mean, it doesn't matter if I like it. It's going to happen forever. The double turn, like you said, is here to stay. But yeah, I think it depends who you're playing. Like if I'm playing daughters and I get the double turn, I'm like, hell yeah, I will take that double turn. That's like a necessity almost. But do I plan around it? No. Should I? Maybe.
No, you've made an interesting comment, and this is one of the comments that I had actually said in response to that, was that when you're at a tournament, you know, a good tournament player is trying to max their score. Even if they're losing, they will still try to scrap for every single point available. And to your point, by taking the double, often that can punish. There are disincentives, not always the case, but there's plenty of disincentives that might stop you from scoring max, and they're likely to give it away. I think maybe in my tournament last weekend, maybe I was doubled once. Maybe I doubled somebody once. I think maybe I doubled somebody once, but it was late game, and I think the person just wanted me to end the game. They're like, "You should take it." I'm like, "All right." Like they were just like, it was just like, "All right, like the game's over. Like just finish it up so I can go to the bar and go buy some things." But like, it's not. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay it. It is impactful. It can be impactful, but you probably find a lot of players, especially at a tournament, likely are thinking about max scores, and they're not planning to double. There are some factions that can, yes, don't at me, but yeah.
Another thing that is crazy about the double is if you take it, your opponent is the underdog the whole time. And some of those battle plans, like being the underdog, is really, really good. Like really good.
Sometimes the battle tactics too, like there's some battle tactics like you have to be the underdog to score this. Like,
right.
well, I've just stopped myself from scoring that particular battle tactic. So there are enough there. It's definitely, I was saying in the discussion, like this is the best that it's ever been. Like in the past, there hasn't been as many disincentives or punishments to take it. Yes, it can be crippling, but in a lot of cases, it doesn't happen as bad or as often. All right, I got that out of the way. I just kind of come to mind. I'm like, oh yeah, like because some people are like, I don't want to play it because of double turn. Like, not that bad, guys. Just don't expect 9-inch charges constantly. Final thoughts and comments. Anything you want to say? Anything we haven't acknowledged? I think we've had a pretty solid discussion. And if nothing more, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Let's Get Warhammered.
Link will be down below. What are we warhammering, by the way? Like, what is Warhammered?
It's like a play on words, I suppose, about getting warhammered. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I wasn't, when I originally made the Instagram, I was just like, I'm gonna just document my hobby progress and my games and like whatever. But then, it started gaining traction, you know, and like posting more. And now it's like an additional layer to my hobby is to like continue to grow that, you know? So.
All right. Well, last question has just come to mind. I see you post a lot on Instagram, and I'm Instagram poor. You'll notice, like, I don't post a lot. I should post more, but I don't. Talk to me, or even the other community who are like me, who just don't post a lot on Instagram. Why? Why should I do it? Like, what do you get out of like sharing your game photos, your models, your progress? Like, tell me more about that community.
I mean, I like to follow a lot of new painters who are also like growing their own skills. Like, I'm not just looking to follow like the best painters because there's a lot of amazing people on there. But like you can't compare yourself to them because they like you're just different people, you know? And their style is different or they are better, which is fine. But I just like, you know, I'm proud of what I do, so I like sharing it, you know? And like I have fun playing games and I like posting shots of like two armies on the table, like fighting it out. I just think it's fun. I don't know.
It is cool. Like I posted a photo from last week's tournament where I had a manifestation battle between the swords and my shards. Like it's the dumbest picture ever. Because I was never going to win it. I have got the shards has no attack profile. The swords are just going to stab me. But like you're right. Like I do need to post more, and I think like when I look at Discord and all the communities, right? The Facebook groups, Discord, there's a lot of cool community, and maybe that's another great way to start is to find people, especially then those people lead you to locals or internationals, and you'll learn a lot. All right, you sold me. I'm going to post more. I'm going to put my Instagram handle. Because I'm terrible. Like it's probably half my problem is I don't follow enough people, or I don't know where to follow. So like I get a lot of ads. I just get all these ads for things.
It's just they're selling me everything on there.
I just want to see Warhammer. I don't need to see like I don't know all this stuff. Anyway, this has been really enjoyable. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your insights. I hope for those who are newer to the hobby, or maybe someone who's going from casual or playing at a local scene to then maybe stepping into the tournament scene, go check out Facebook. There's plenty of Facebook events. Best Coast Pairings is a tournament app where you can search your location and find events. So if you don't know where to find a local event, whether it's a store event or something independent like we've been talking about, Games Workshop does run them as well. So Warhammer community, I think hopefully between this discussion, you are feeling at least enthusiastic and inspired to maybe take that first step, or maybe to go out and find your next event. I'm certainly I'm an addict. Like once you finish an event, you're quickly looking for the next one. And I'm like, right. And like, I don't know if you're like me, I'm a butterfly. Like I just did Hellsmiths, and I'm like, I'm going to go play Zinch. Like in theory, I should just keep playing and getting better at my faction. I'm like, nope. I'm just going to change. I'm bored, and I'm just going to go run something completely different and buy more models. And my wife wonders why I'm always building and painting, and I really should just keep playing the thing I've got. Viral's like, no comment. I'm just all
talk about all of the gray models that I have. Like it's a problem, and I'm trying to buy less and paint more, but we'll see how that goes.
It's only a problem if you admit it's a problem.
Okay, it's not a problem. It's fine.
It's fine. I did hear a rumor that if you do complete all your grey plastic, you die. So I think it's okay. That's been around forever. So like you got to keep buying. You got to keep buying. All right. On that note, Viral, thank you so much for your time. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll chat all again soon. Go follow her. She got cool stuff, and follow me because I need an excuse to use Instagram. I'm terrible. All right. Bye, people. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for hanging around until the end. I hope you enjoyed that video and you walked away with a few new ideas. Now, if you did, I would love it if you pressed like on the video, as well as left me a comment with your thoughts. The conversation will continue over on Discord, and the link is down below in the episode description. I also want to give a massive shout out to the AOS Coach patrons and YouTube members who are supporting the channel and the growth that you're seeing here. So cheers, you are all bloody legends. And until next time, don't roll a 1-1 on a spellcast.